Good morning, guys. I got a bunch of parts in. Anyway, this radiator don't have a drain in it, and I ordered a petcock. It's 1/4 inch NPT, so I'm going to try to put it down there in this bottom part. I dug around here in my parts. I don't know why I was making this for a handle or something, but this is going to be good enough. I'm going to have to put this in the lathe, and here's my tap, and I'll drill a hole in the radiator, and I'm going to glue this plate in here. I'll turn it down a little bit, but then I'll tap it for this valve, and then I'll figure out some way of, I'll probably just JB weld it onto the radiator. But first thing I'm going to do is machine this down flat, so I'll pull this part off here so I can get something that'll glue to that flat part of the radiator, and then we'll tap it. I'll show you how I'll do that. Well, first thing I'm going to do is, I've got a little offset here, and I'm going to just thin this down about halfway. I'm going to take it here in the lathe and run a few passes across the surface and cut it down. Try and do all this one-handed. I'm just going to crank this in by hand. Take a few passes across here until I pretty much get it flush. I'll put the camera down here and do this. Well, I got this machine down flat, and I just bumped it in here with the edge of a bit to make a rough surface so the glue will stick to it. I'll have to cut that down. It won't be that big. Next thing I'm going to do is bore this out to the size that this tap will go into. I don't know how big that'll be. I'll just trial and error it until I get it started. I just got a little flat bit, or cutter. I'm just going to back it out a little, and I've got a high feed. Just opening up that hole a little. I don't know exactly how much it's going to take. Quite a ways away. So I'll make a few more passes, and then I'll put I have to turn this around so I can thread it. I want the threads to go on the other side here. I just put my tap in it. I ran it in with a live center just to hold it straight, put a little pressure on it, and then I'll turn it. I need to use both hands. Well, there it is, put in there. Kind of let me show you this with one hand, but I made it probably a little bit too big, but I could put some Teflon tape on here and it's going in pretty much right flush with the surface, and my little valve is opening up, so that's good. Next thing I got to do is cut this down. That'd be pretty easy to do. I can chuck it back here on this thick part and just whittle off this big outside. Need to lay it up in the radiator and see how much room we got. I'll just measure it. I can't really see what's going on there too good. I've got this cooler in a way. I'd like to get that, you know, of course the smaller I get it, the closer to the bottom of the radiator it is. I'm not gonna, should go in the bottom, but I'm not gonna pull that radiator right out of there, so I can bore a hole in it. And I'll try to put it over here close to the corner so I can get it. Well, I got it trimmed down, and I put a piece of rubber in it about the same size right there, and so I didn't get any glue up into the hole. I scratched it up good with sandpaper so it was nice and clean, and then I scraped it up with a file on the radiator, so that gave it a pretty rough surface. And that's at JB Quick, so it gets pretty hard in just a few minutes. I don't know what it is. It says I don't know. Anyway, it'll hold pretty good in about 5 minutes, and it's like regular JB weld. It gets its full strength in 24 hours, but in an hour or two I could probably put water back in this radiator. I'm gonna let it set up good there on the radiator itself. I don't know what that's gonna do about my cooling thing. Don't really care, but I got it glued on a pretty big wide area, and I'm hoping that some of that glue on the inside caught the inside of the hole and maybe even ran down a little on the back. So I'm going to have glue on the inside of the radiator, kind of act like a rivet. Anyway, there's that, and let's move on to something else. Well, I kind of started mocking up that rear. I cut that 90 in half and welded it. I've got it clamped to a board right now. I think that's 11 inches off the floor, about the same as where the muffler's gonna go. I'm clearing the rear end 3-4 inches. That'll be enough travel for it, I'm sure. But the problem comes over on this end. This pipe is going to hit this cross member right here, and I can't cut that. So I just put this together to try to line it up, but you can see it's about 2.5 inches too high. That's the size of the pipe. I could maybe bring it up there, but even that's not really any good because now I got the exhaust pipe right against the gas tank. I don't want that. So I'm not sure how I'm going to resolve that. I was going to try to mock it up and see where it came through here. If I go right under that brace, this pipe is coming out, you know, right about here somewhere, right at the bottom of my fender. I don't mean my tailpiece. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. If I could bring it down with another 90, and then another 90 to go out. So I'd have to get 2 more 90s just for this one side. I'd have to get well, no, one 180 would do it. Which I've got one here, but that would take both of them up. So basically I'd have 4 180s to go over that exhaust pipe, or get the exhaust pipe over the axle. Don't know exactly what I'm going to do with that yet, but that is a problem. If I get the pipe up high enough to clear the rear end, I'm in the middle of my cross member, and I really don't want to cut that cross member. Well, I think I solved it. I can put 2 pieces at a 45. I can get this one 45 down. That one there is kind of hanging down. It's just stuck in there. And that'll get it at the angle it's going. It'll get it below this edge, so it'll come out right in here somewhere, or fall on the floor. But I think that's the way I can do it. I'll just put 45 2 pieces, and I'll make sure that it's long enough to drop it down to where it goes through that valence down there. I'll just have to take this off and figure out where this pipe will come right straight through there. How close am I? Be about right there somewhere. So that's basically where my pipes will come out. This one will be about right here. So I think that'll work. I'll get these made up and cut through the hole, and then I can adjust my 45s to get everything going through there. So that'll work. It's pretty easy to cut that pipe at a good angle and tack it together and weld it up. So this these two end pieces will be one piece, and I'll clamp them right there. This muffler and the 90 is going to be one piece, and I'll clamp it right there. So I'll have to weld the back of the muffler and this long piece up, make a hanger for that. Anyway, I think that's gonna be the way it goes, because I've got enough room to clear now. I can't lower that any. I've only got about 3-4 inches, and you know, it's up at the maximum travel. I'll jack it up and make sure that I got enough before I start welding up stuff. But here at the top of the travel, that's about where everything's going to look. Yeah, maybe I'll get some chrome tips or something. It's kind of good because, you know, the tail lights are round, turn signals are round, pipe would be round, and it's got these two round things on it here. So round, 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 round. It'll look good here in the back. So I've got about another day of fabricating when my muffler and pipe gets here, and we'll move along after that. I got some really good switches here. I'm going to put both of these into the little dash panel I got there. One of them will be for the fan on. I haven't determined what the other one will be yet, but I got enough room for one on each side. So I'll go ahead and mount this switch for the fan and give it a test. Well, I mounted the switch. I got it where it grounds the fan on, and I stuck the other one in a hole here, but I'll put me an indicator light in there or something maybe. I've been working on well, I got my transmission neutral reverse switch. It was faulty, and so I checked the one that I have here, and it actually works. Turns out the can't really see it there. Two outside ones are for backup, and the middle one is your neutral and park, and it's working good in neutral and park. What I had before, I had this solenoid wire wired to a big heavy wire. So I took it out. I finally found a relay. The relay is normally off, I think. Let me think about this a second. Yeah, the relay is normally off, so whenever power hits it, it turns it on. So, and then the neutral the neutral and park switch grounds it into the case. So I needed to get a relay that would ground, and that's what I've got here. I've got this ground that's going to go into the firewall. I've just got it grounded here, and I had it hooked into the always on power, which was with the brakes. Well, unfortunately, if I did it that way, I turned the key off, that relay would stay energized and it would eventually run your battery down. So I plumbed into the dash wires. Let's see if we can get some light back here. And I worked on this quite a bit more. So I had the flasher running into the dash power, but it was just kind of funky sitting there. And so I took all this stuff here and I ran my flasher power down there, or my relay, neutral relay power, to the headlights. So it's only going to have power when it's on. So that way if I leave my key on, it's not energized. So right now I'm about ready to test it. So I should hear a click from that relay. When the key is on, it's in park. So let's see if we can hear a click. Can't really tell. But it's in park, so it should start. Nope. No starting. Somehow I got something messed up on it here. I was hoping it worked first time. I'll just recheck my wires and then I'll bring you back when I find out what it is. Well, it turned out the little jumper wire I had grounding the relay was bad. So we should be able to hear it click now. Hear that click? Yeah, that's the fuel gauge. But it's clicking. So when its power's on and it's in neutral, the relay is closed. So it should start. That's good. And then that's in park. Get this thing kind of hard with this not bolted down to anything. There's neutral. Should start there. So, and then put it in reverse. That's not good. Pull it down into first. That's not good either. So somehow, I still got something wrong here. Shouldn't start in reverse, but it does. Well, must have something else still wired wrong, because I checked the switch and the switch was working right. It was only closing on don't know what it is. I'll have to go through here again and see what happened. It was working when I just had it clipped together. But I might have accidentally crossed a couple wires or something there. I'll work on this a little more, but at least I know that relay's in right and it's working right. I'll try changing some wires and see what happens. Well, that made me feel plenty stupid. I made this lovely jumper up here to ground the relay, so it meant the relay was always on. And actually, what I needed was ground to go to the transmission switch. So I've plugged it into where it's supposed to go, so it shouldn't be grounded except when it's in neutral or park. And right now it's down in first. Nothing. Just pull it up into neutral. There's neutral. Still nothing. Let's try park. Neutral was a little fishy before. There's park. So that's good. Park is fine. Let's see if I can play with this neutral. It's in neutral now. Yeah, so I got it'll start in neutral and park, nowhere else. I also fooled around there and I ran I already taped up this whole harness, so I put one more wire in it for backup lights. And I don't remember if I even got them hooked up right now. I don't think I do. But my backup light switch works. And all I got to do is just hook up a wire. I see that one there just hanging there. It's not plugged in yet. But my reverse light switch works. I just have to connect it. I'll do that right now. Now key's on and got it in neutral. I just hooked it up into the dash power. And we got voltage. And if I put it in anything other than reverse, there's park. No voltage. So all the lights are working. It should be working. The critical one was that neutral switch. A story of a friend of mine. Well, he wasn't really a friend of mine. I knew who he was. And he had an old truck down where I used to have my shop. And for some reason it died or something. But he got out to open the gate. And he did something, I don't know, the key was on or it was in gear. And he reached in there and standing on the side of the fender, jumped it and it started. Oh, that pinned him up against the gate. The bad part was that, it didn't squish him and kill him right away. It pinned him there. I think he was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. He forgot his phone or something. He went back to get his phone. 4 or 5 hours later, his wife went down there and it just squished him. And a car had plenty of gas in it. Anyway, killed him. And I've ran over my wall a couple times and almost ran me over. I ran over my foot once. I ran over somebody else's foot once. I've had enough bad experiences with being able to start a car in gear that that's one of the things I really make sure I got sorted out. I don't want the thing to start in gear, and you know, I don't care what it takes. Don't fix your car where it'll start in gear. It's so easy to forget that, you know, you left it in gear when you're working on it, and you can kill yourself. Alright guys, that's it for the day. Like and subscribe. I didn't get a lot done, but I got something very critical done, and my little relay is not going to look too bad down there, and I can bolt it right into the firewall. It's right next to the brake switch. It's going to be clean. I don't have wires running everywhere, and press on with its next step.